Hey guys, Mrs. Kohler here. Today we're going to do 6.3 linear functions. So make sure you have your guided notes out ready to go. First of all, example 1, writing a linear function using a graph, says use the graph to write a linear function that relates y to x. So if you look at this and we draw a line through these points, that's a terrible line, but you get the gist of that. All right. There's two things you want to look for. You want to look for your slope and your y-intercept. All right. So our y-intercept is probably the first thing that's easiest to find. Let me change colors here so that it stands out a little bit. So right here, remember where it crosses our y-axis, that is our y-intercept. So in this case, it's going to be -3, which is our b value. All right. Then to find your slope, if you just pick 2 points and you count rise over run, so if we start here, we are going to go up 3 over 2, which makes our rise over run 3 over 2, which is our slope. All right, now that we have our slope and our y-intercept, we can plug that in to slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And since we know our m value, or our slope, and our b value, our y-intercept, we can just go ahead and write an equation. So y equals, our slope is 3 over 2, don't forget your x, plus -3. Now, you could also do y equals 3 over 2x minus 3. It means the same thing as plus -3. So that is how you would write a linear function or an equation that shows the line through those points. All right. Now, example 2 is a little bit different. Let me get that pulled up on the screen. So for example 2, they want us to use this table to plot the points and then kind of figure out what the equation is from there. So remember, these are xy coordinates. So that's the same as -3, 9. All right, so if we're going to plot these, sorry that the numbers are kind of blurry on your paper too, but -3, 9 would put us right here. All right. The next one, -2, 7 would put us right here. -1, 5 puts us right there. And 0, 3 puts us right there. So there is our line. Now, again, we want to find M and we want to find B. So B is easy. That's exactly where we cross our y-axis there. So that would be +3. Now, if we're going to look for the slope again, we're just going to go from one point to the next point, left to right. So this one we're actually going down 2 over 1. So down 2 over 1 means that our slope is -2 over 1. And when we put that into our equation, we can just write it as -2. So, quick recap from the first example. Y equals mx plus b. And when we plug in our slope and y-intercept values, that gives us y equals -2x plus 3. So that is the equation that goes with the xy chart that we were originally given up at the top there. All right. Example 3 is a little more challenging. It's definitely more of a secondary technique than a primary technique, which is kind of what the first two were with the graphing. So, just like before, we need our m value and our b value, or our slope and our y-intercept. So slope, we've done before. refresh your memory a little bit. M equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. All right, so if we pick 2 points, so that'll be our first point. That'll be our second point. If we're going to go ahead and plug those in, then M equals our y2 is 50 minus our y1 is 55 all over x2 minus x1 would be 30 minus 20, all right, which gives us negative 5 over 10 or negative 1/2. All right, so we know our slope is negative 1/2. Now, your y-intercept is where your x value is 0. That's already given to us in this table. All right, so we know that our b value, because of this point right here, equals 65. All right. So if we're going to go ahead and write our equation, y equals mx plus b, we're going to have y equals, our slope is negative 1 over 2 x, and then plus 65. All right, and that is how we find the equation that represents the numbers in our yellow chart there. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, maybe ask someone around you. Otherwise, go ahead and start on the 6.3 page in your Chapter 6 assignment packet, and I will see you guys real soon.